Are you a teacher in need of some effective strategies to manage classroom behavior? Then continue watching this video. I'm going to share with you some strategies that I used in my classroom that ultimately led to me having one of the best ran classrooms each school year. Now, it took some trial and error, but hey, I pretty much think I mastered it. So stay tuned, and I'm going to share those tips with you. I'm so excited. Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. In this video, I am going to be strategies that I used in my classroom that led to me having a very well run classroom. Now, if you don't know, you will soon find out. Classroom management is going to be the key that keeps your entire system together. Meaning, if you don't establish a good classroom management routine from day one, you're not going to be very successful this school year, because your classroom management not only affects the culture of your classroom, but it affects and impacts how your students work in your classroom. So today I'm going to give you 4 strategies that I use, and they really helped me to kind of hone in on my students and keep them at a level to not only were they engaged, but they were also respectful and they were extremely productive. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into those. So the 4 strategies that we are focusing on in this video are: 1, start the year off prepared. 2, establish your authority from day 1. 3, go ahead and set those rules and expectations early. And 4, practice, practice, practice. Now let's dive deeper into these strategies. Strategy number 1, start the year off prepared. This is going to be you sitting down, taking the time to actually plan out what you are going to do. What am I going to need to carry out this particular vision or idea that I have for the class on this day? Am I going to let the students sit wherever they want to sit, or am I going to have assigned seats for them? Am I going to have them to do a get to know me or get to know you activity first thing, or am I going to do an activity that is going to allow me to see where they are academically and grade level wise? Okay, print that material out beforehand. Don't wait until the morning of. Any scissors, extra glue, extra pencils, go ahead and have that material placed on the table in a basket or in a cup or whatever you choose to use for your tables or stations, so that you don't have to scramble around looking for it. The tone and the way you act that first day is going to give your students their initial impression of you, and that is how they're going to expect you to act for the rest of the year. So you want to start off strong. Be prepared. Okay, strategy number 2. Go ahead and establish your authority on the first day. Okay? First impressions are lasting impressions. The version of you show these students on their first day, on their second day, during their first week of school, that's going to be the teacher that they expect to have for the rest of the year. So for me, what does that look like? That looks like I'm in serious mode. I have a slight smile. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to class. Go ahead and put your things away at your cubby and go ahead and take a seat. You can choose any seat you would like. Please make sure we're not talking. You have an activity sheet already on your table. There's also a pencil, so if you don't have a pencil, you don't have to worry about it because I've provided one. But go ahead and get started on your activity sheet. Remember, we are not talking. At no point during this process do I go into play mode. Why? Because if you start off playing with them, they are going to expect you to continue to play with them. Now, does that mean you don't like your students? No, it just means you have to set a tone for respect. You have to set a tone for order in order for you to have a respectful, orderly, well-managed classroom. Strategy number 3, go ahead and set those expectations. You should have something posted clearly and visibly in the classroom for your students to see and reference to at all times. They should have expectations on how to enter the classroom, exit the classroom, line up in the classroom, participate in the classroom, turn in classwork and homework, go to the restroom, walk down the hallway. How do we behave in the cafeteria? How do we behave when we go to our support teachers like gym, art, music, classes like that, okay? And even though it seems like a lot, you will learn that the students actually appreciate it because it gives them an environment to where they can learn. Okay? Students cannot learn in chaos. And when you don't set those expectations early and reinforce them daily, your classroom will turn into chaos, and the students who actually want to learn will not be able to. So, an example of what this looked like in my classroom. Okay, students, when we enter my classroom, we enter silently, not quietly. That means we're not talking, we're not whispering. We come in on zero. No sounds coming out of any throats. Okay, you hang your backpack up at the cubby. You get whatever you need out of your backpack at that time, because we are not going back to get anything. If you ask me, I will drop your conduct. You sit down and you start working on your do now. And you practice this every day. If they deviate, immediately redirect. Okay, so you've made sure you were ready on the first day. You've established your authority the first day, and you've already laid out your expectations to all of your students. Now all that's left for you to do is practice, 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 okay? You have to practice this. Every single day you go through and have them practice what you want them to do. And when someone deviates from those expectations, you don't single that child out to start off with, okay? And even further in the year, because usually you can give an indirect correction and the person who's causing the problem will fix themselves if you've done this correctly. Okay, so if anyone deviates, just use it as a teachable moment for the entire classroom. Example, lining up to go to lunch. This is how it would look in my class. Okay, students, we're going to go ahead and line up for lunch. Everyone go ahead and stand up, push your chairs in. Make sure we walk to the line silently, not quietly, and make sure my line is straight, okay? So I hear a couple of students laughing, snickling, playing hee hee ha ha ha, and one student runs. Woo, okay, that looked a little funny, class. We had some people not really doing what they're supposed to do. So we're going to all go back to our seats and we're going to try this again. I let them sit there for about 30 seconds to a minute. I'm like, okay, now let's try this again. Let's go ahead and line up. This time, they get it right. No problem. Something you do want to avoid as much as possible is yelling at a student in front of other students. Okay, this is embarrassing to them, and it actually makes them build like a resentment toward you, and they will do everything in their power to make sure you know that they do not like you. Okay, with students, you have to give respect to get respected. Okay, yes, I was strict, but I respected all of my students. That is going to be the most important part. Okay, yes, all the other stuff I said 1, 2, 3, 4. But give the students the respect that you want them to give you. If you scream at them in front of other students, best believe they're going to show out. And it's going to be very hard for you to control that student. Okay, now, the strategy that my students enjoyed the most came about, it was kind of like a fluke. So I'm a teacher that, it's probably bad, I like to kind of snack while I teach. It's just like, it keeps me focused. You know how some people fidget with stuff, some people twirl their hair. Me personally, like, I have to eat focus. And it wasn't like a full meal. It was just like, I have like some almonds or something like that. But my students pretty much made me aware that, hey, we're paying attention to you, and we noticed that you never have on shoes and you're always eating. So I'm like, because I like to eat. I was like, we like to eat too. So I was like, I tell you what, if you can promise me that you will work super hard and that you will try your best, I will let you bring your blankets, your pillows, and a snack, and every day you can lay on the floor and relax and learn. But if I see you are not doing your work, you have to go back to your desk. You cannot eat your snack. You cannot take your blanket, and you lose your right to participate for the rest of the week. The students got so excited. Now keep in mind, I started this, I want to say, the end of February. We were getting ready for TCAP. The upper grades were getting ready for TCAP prep. And keep in mind, I had to get my students ready for our ready exams. So I'm like, Lord, please don't let this backfire on me. Every day my students brought their blankets. Every day they brought their snacks. Every day they were laid out in the floor with their shoes off, under their blankets, And when I tell you I had those students undivided attention. Why? Because they did not want to lose the privilege of being able to relax and learn. And when I tell you my students rocked that already, because they focused so hard on doing their work and learning just so that they could keep the privilege to lay on the floor in a blanket and take their shoes off. So that was a whole lot, and my mouth is tired. But if you stuck with me to the end, thank you very much. I really hope these strategies work as well for you as they did for me. If you use any of them and they actually do work for you, shoot me an email or leave a comment to let me know how something worked. Even if it didn't work for you, let me know. I want to hear your feedback, okay? And have an awesome day or evening or night. Wherever you are, have an awesome day. Toodles!